Welcome to the Maverick Retirement Podcast. This is a place to hear on how to achieve financial success and live an incredible life in retirement. I am Robert Cannon, author, educator, and CEO of Cannon Wealth Solutions, your host for this podcast. We are live.
We are.
Right? Yep. We are live.
Hey, my friend.
Oh, yep. We're recording. Okay. That was good.
Oh, you know what?
Hello.
Hello.
Gold. All right. So
hold on. I got to turn off my notifications because Slack will be going constantly. All right. I should be good now.
No problem.
Go.
All right. So I love working out and I love new things. So I went to a gym in Manhattan called Hacked. The very first and only to this date biohacking gym in New York City. And the owner was this incredible, vibrant star of a woman, and her name was Pamela Gold. And that's how I met Pamela. Welcome, Pamela.
Thank you. This is such a pleasure to get to sit down with you formally and chat about all things health and fitness and life and wherever this conversation may go.
Absolutely. So the way I would like to start, tell me how you got to Hacked. How did we get to that destination of owning the very first biohacking gym in New York City?
Yes, it was a very unintended and unimaginable consequence of me basically just being a very typical overachieving mom who, was juggling all the things that I was juggling for the years that I became a mom. And I got really into fitness and obviously caring for my children. And that was a full-time job. And then I went back to work running a behavioral therapy-based food and weight clinic. That was back in 2015. And so I went from suddenly having a lot of flexibility, maybe 4 to 6 hours a day working out with my clients and doing things for myself, to being lucky if I had 20 minutes a day to work out. So I started researching better, more efficient ways to get the same results. And that's how I found some of the biohacking fitness equipment that I became really, really passionate about. Then some new versions of that equipment came out and it was very expensive. There was no way that I could justify having it, and I wanted to play with it, unless I figured out how to make a business around it. And so in 2018, I founded Hacked Fitness, mainly so I could play with all the toys that I wanted to be playing with.
Okay. So the selection of equipment was specifically for the efficiency of working out, right?
That's why I opened the place. And then I had the luxury of getting to play with a lot of the recovery modalities that I had heard about, but I hadn't yet gotten to really use consistently enough to get my head around what they were really doing and how they could be used to amplify and speed up recovery and rejuvenation, and then leading to longevity and anti-aging, effects, which obviously I'm a 43-year-old mom, so I'm certainly into longevity and anti-aging, besides just fitness.
So did you think now I can help people work out? Like what type of people you were looking to attract?
Well, it's funny, because when I first opened up Hacked, I really was opening it up for people like me, people that were, type A, overachieving, excited about working really hard and getting better results in less time. And there was that athletic persona that I just naturally assumed I was opening it up for, because that's who I am. But what I found when I opened up Hacked was that we were also attracting people that didn't actually love fitness the way that I intrinsically love fitness. They were attracted to Hacked because they could get the same results in way less time. And I had clients lovingly say to me, Pam, I love you, and I'm going to keep coming here, but I'm never going to love this workout. I love it because I get it over with fast, and then I get the results of it. And so I realized that I was opening up Hacked and bringing these services and this equipment to market for people that also really didn't like working out, which, to be honest, I think we all, sorry about that. To be honest, I think we all really look at life generally through our own lens. And it's only later when we start to kind of expand the circle of who we're talking to that we realize not everyone thinks like I do. Not everyone loves that intense burn and gets that rise out of really challenging themselves and getting really uncomfortable. Some people really don't want to be uncomfortable in their body. They know they have to do it. But if there is a more efficient, effective way to do it, then that's just a win-win for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, I feel most people would gravitate towards something like that for sure. I mean, honestly, for me, I just wanted to try the cutting edge workout, and I was very excited that something like that even existed. And that's why I reached out to you. It was really amazing, amazing gym. You know, the reason why I wanted to really speak today is what I'm looking to do is help my audience, help my clients have an efficient way of working out and a one-stop tool that can help them in their life.
Mm.
Uh, and you're working on something right now, which I believe will help transform their life. Why don't you talk a little bit about Portal and your project that you're working on?
Thank you. So Hacked is now Portal. It's always confusing when you rebrand something, but you throw a pandemic in the mix, it just puts one more wrench in the system. But we decided to rebrand Hacked because we realized, as you already alluded to, this isn't just about biohacking, and it's not certainly about any kind of shortcuts alone. It's about holistic transformation. And so I've always been about physical fitness, mental fitness, and energetic fitness and wellness, because they're all connected. You can't untangle them and just pay attention to one, because if you're only paying attention to physical fitness, you're not paying attention to your mental fitness and wellness, or your energetic, which we could say our heart. How much love and passion and purpose and joy do we feel in our day? All those things are connected, and you'll plateau if you're not looking at all of them. And so Portal is the rebrand of Hacked. Right now, we do not have a bricks and mortar facility because of the pandemic, but we did launch an online coaching program and an app that helps really bring an efficient, well-rounded, holistic program to whoever's interested in it. It's something that is very accessible and attainable, and it's all about ease and efficiency. And every day you get a minimum effective dose workout or recovery, and you get minimum effective dose coaching messages. So now we have them separated into 3 coaching messages a day. One is a motivational message, one is a supportive message, and one is a reflection message. And those 3 messages, for me, I like motivation in the morning, support sometimes in the morning, sometimes midday, a tool that's going to be really practical. And then reflection, I like to do at the end of the day. Sometimes it's journaling, sometimes it's meditation, breath work. But it's always going to be a reflection that helps us integrate learning so we continually level up. And so it is holistic. It's the physical fitness, it's mental fitness, nutritional, sleep, and communal fitness. And when I say communal fitness, that's really about our relationships, where we're deriving a source of strength, of wisdom, of joy, of peace, whether it's through ourselves, through our friendships, our relationships, through nature, through our finances, making sure that we have a lot of sources. So if one source is a little bit low, like suppose I'm having a rough day and maybe I've made a couple big mistakes, having a network of people who are my cheerleaders, or having a network of or being able to go out in nature, or having access to resources to give me support in those moments. That's what communal fitness is all about.
Oh, that's incredible. So I think that fits in perfectly for my audience. That's exactly what they're looking for. So let's say, is it for a specific age, would you say? I would say like my demographic probably is 50 and over. Let's say a person 30, 40 years old, can they still get a benefit from this?
Yeah, so the way the program is set up, the coaching messages apply to everyone from an 8-year-old all the way up to my 91-year-old grandmother. It's just the practical things about being human, and it applies to all age groups. Now it's usually my voice, and so the motivational messages are still kind of my Energizer Bunny-esque voice. The supportive messages, you're toned down a little bit because you're not always in the mood for Pam at 100%. And the reflective ones are more chill. So depending on kind of your mood and time of day, I do, my prayer is that my voice can land with people wherever they are at all ages. The workouts and the recoveries are designed for people that are already healthy enough to do stabilizing and strength workouts. And so the active recoveries, there are modifications that we can do that are appropriate, even if you are injured. You just want to check with your doctor first. the high intensity interval workouts that we have, we are currently in the process of launching kind of a level 1 stabilizing workout. So even if you're not comfortable doing a higher intensity workout, you're not comfortable doing high impact, there is going to be a workout path for you. And then you're invited to level up if you want to get to the strength level where you don't have to do the high impact, but you can still do, the modified push-ups, and you can do the bridges, and you can do the things that, you want to make sure that you're healthy. And this is not a one-on-one personal training or physical therapy-esque kind of workout. So it is just a basic nuts and bolts, but it is designed for everyone. For example, my father is in his 70s, and he does the workouts as well. So I mean, it's my dad. He shows up.
So 70s is okay. You could be
Yeah, as long as you're healthy. I mean, I absolutely, my philosophy. So I'm 43. My philosophy is that as long as I have a body, I'm going to keep my body at least at the strength level. And there's really quick and easy statements to see whether you're at the stability level, the strength level, or the power level. No matter what, while I still have a body, I'm committed to staying at the strength level, because you just never know in life. All of a sudden a toddler can come running at you, and you have to grab them and stabilize yourself. Or you're on the plane and you have to put your overhead bag up, in that overhead compartment. There's always going to be things in life that physically challenge us, that are unexpected. So all of us need to prioritize keeping ourselves at least at the strength level, really in all 5 pillars, in order to be at the power level in any of the pillars. And so the physical fitness is the strength, stability, and power. That's the easiest to understand. But in our mental fitness, our nutritional fitness, our sleep fitness, and our communal, we the same way. We have these stability, strength, and power statements. And different people can look at this matrix that I have and see where their goals really are. Not everyone wants to be at a power level physically, but I would bet most of your clients want to be at a power level, either mentally and or at least communally, because the quality of our life depends on the quality of our fitness and well-being. And it doesn't have to be physical fitness. As I said, it could be mental fitness. The power level of mental fitness means that you can navigate pretty much anything that life throws your way with this positive, abundant mindset, and being able to manifest, lemonade out of lemons. So no matter what the challenge, you turn it into an opportunity, and you manifest something even greater than you could have imagined. So that's the power level of mental. And the power level of communal is that you are actually being the source of joy, of wisdom, of love, of resources. Could be money. You're being the source for everyone in your life. So the stability of communal fitness is that you're working on staying connected to a source of resource, of joy, of stability, of love, of power. But then the strength is that no matter what the challenge, you can still stay connected to that source. But the power level is that you are the source. You're showing up as the source for your family, for your community, and of course for yourself.
That sounds amazing. So would the person need to work out every day? Or do you have like a specified amount of days you work out? How does that work?
So here's the deal. Ultimately, we need to move our bodies every day.
Right.
It is astounding, and I know you're with me, Rob, how little I can work out and still be in great shape. I mean, this is a video, right? Like,
Yep.
I was just doing literally a quick 2-minute workout, and I live with my husband, so he sees firsthand, and I don't go anywhere now because of COVID. So he sees firsthand how little I work out. I definitely work out every day in some way. It could be a very easy, dynamic, active recovery workout, but I do something every day. I don't do so every day I get out of my comfort zone. That's just one of my mantras in life. Every day I have to get out of my comfort zone, or my comfort zone is going to be shrinking. I want to be expanding my comfort zone, or at least keeping it steady and stable. But the thing is, this old paradigm where you need to work out for an hour or work out for 45 minutes every day or 6 days a week, that's just wrong. It's just wrong. I do little micro workouts. So I try to make it, the intention with Portal is to make it as easy as possible for people, where it's a 20-minute workout or a 20-minute active recovery every day. But ultimately, once you get used to that, you can see how, I mean, I'm kind of funny. I'll just drop and do push-ups while I'm waiting for the microwave to heat up my tea. That's just how I am. I don't actually frequently do a 20-minute workout anymore. Sometimes if I feel like I'm off the horse, I'll do it. But most days, I just do little bursts of 1 minute, 5 minute, bursts of high intensity work. And that's it for me. That's all I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mhm.
And you're in phenomenal shape.
Yeah, I am. And like just last Monday, I decided I was going to do 300 push-ups just because it was like a challenge. And I choose to do things that are hard and unexpected to keep my body guessing. And so every now and then you know, I'll go run 10 miles or I'll do 300 push-ups. I'll do something that I know I'm capable of doing and doing it with good form and being safe. But that's the kind of thing like once a month, I'll just kind of do something a little bit, I won't say crazy, but it's a lot to do 300 push-ups. I'm talking about real push-ups, not like
Yeah.
modified push-ups in one day.
I was going to say you're scaring even the male audience here. 300 push-ups. They're like, she's better than I am.
But I did it all day. I literally did blocks of 10 all day long.
Right.
So I was disciplined and I did them slowly. I didn't do them quickly because I could. I mean, you could, if you go fast and you're fatigued, your stabilizing muscles get tired. Let me tell you, I videotaped the last like group of 50 push-ups that I did. My form was atrocious because my stabilizer muscles and my core were so exhausted from the day. So that's why I went slow to make sure that I didn't do anything that would injure myself. But that's the kind of thing our bodies respond well, just like our minds respond well to challenges, to new, unexpected, like, Pam, what are you doing? But it's good.
So let's just take the average person because, you know, sometimes like same thing with me, somebody will come up in the gym, hey, you know, something, advice, and I give them advice and they'll get nervous. And you just said 300 push-ups, probably just scared away like everyone.
But that was just like literally, I've never in my life before Monday, I've never done more than 100 push-ups in my entire life in one day. Never.
I mean,
And so that's like an outlier. That was my example
so
of just doing something.
the foundation you've built such an incredible foundation that you can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Let's take our audience here. 55-year-old woman, 60-year-old guy, they're married and they're looking to implement something in their life. How would portal?
So the first thing would be an assessment. And so I would recommend, so if someone doesn't already have a strong foundation physically, get an assessment to start to make sure that you're really starting out with the knowledge, with the foundation to really start where you are and level up from there. So if someone is older, what I generally tell people is if you haven't been in really, really active kind of fitness level shape where you're doing lunges, you're doing full push-ups, you're doing full squats, you know, you haven't done stuff like that in 5 years, or even like three to 5 years. You really want to make sure that you get a full assessment and you check out your form and you start from where you are, you are. And so I would definitely start with a stability workout. A stability workout is going to be gentle. It will be things like you'll be on all fours and you'll be alternating your arm and your leg out. Those are called like bird dogs, things that are gentle, where you can start to feel the subtleties of your stabilizer muscles. Like, what does it feel like to keep your spine supported? So for most people, as we age, our core strength is the most important thing to focus on first and foremost, because if we're not aware fundamentally of our core strength, we're leaving a lot of vulnerability in our back. And all of us carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, which then is on our back. And so doing things slowly at first and building up learning what good form feels like how do you make sure that you're keeping your form in proper functional alignment to avoid injury? That's one of the core things. And then the other core thing when you're first starting out is to make sure that you're moving every day. Like, go for walks. Walking is just one of the best things that we can be doing, and just getting up and down from the chair. Like, just making sure, like, I've gotten myself in the habit. First of all, I definitely move every hour, but when I go to sit in a chair, I get up and down 3 times, not like in an OCD kind of way, but just as a reminder that I'm getting up, I'm getting down, I'm getting up and getting down, because it's a basic functional movement. And as we get older, we tend to get more and more sedentary. And then that's the kind of thing that overall will lead to impaired balance, will lead more likely to us falling, more likely when we fall that we get injured. So that's some basic stuff just to get started out, to start to be more aware that you have a body, you're in a body, you love your body, you're going to be moving your body, and really like do an assessment when you first get back on any workout program. And we offer that at Portal, concierge level assessments. So if someone is starting out and they're like, oh gosh, I really want to do this, but this seems a little daunting and I don't know what good form looks like and I don't want to risk an injury, that's when you can either work with us or work with someone else, work with a trainer, get an assessment, and then make sure that you're really clear on good form, because there's no rush in life. That's the most important thing that older Pam, I could have gone back and told younger Pam, there's no rush, and it's better to go slow and steady and then go too fast and risk an injury. And I'm really proud to say that in all my years of being a fitness, kind of really into fitness when I was younger, I was much more, a fanatic where I would do a lot more in one day. I've, knock on wood, not gotten injured working out ever, because I'm really conservative, because I go slow and I'm conservative and there's no rush. Because if you rush, just even my dad, I was with him the other day and he was going so slow down the stairs, because he's like, there's just no rush and there's just no reason to rush and possibly fall, possibly get injured. You don't want to get injured.
Totally agree. So that's very interesting. You do offer that service, concierge service. Let's elaborate a little bit on that, because I think my audience will, they can afford it, number one, and they'll appreciate having that guidance. You want to elaborate a little bit on the concierge service?
Sure. So the first thing that we do is an assessment. And when we do our assessment, we look at all 5 pillars. So we'll do a physical fitness assessment, a mental fitness assessment, a nutritional fitness assessment, a sleep fitness assessment, and then a communal fitness assessment. And then based on that assessment, and then based on the client's goals, we then will lay out a strategy. And the strategy definitely will involve the Portal app, which makes it as easy as possible to get the support. But if someone wants to, they can also do concierge coaching with either myself or someone on my team to move them through the program. And we really focus on 12-week blocks, because how you do one thing is how you do anything. And if you're really going to look for change, you have to be consistent. And it's not about perfection, it's just about consistency. So we do offer a wide range of kind of, someone could get that initial assessment and then go through the program just on the app at a very low price point. Or if someone wants one-on-one concierge support, we have coaches for that as well.
Oh, that's great. That's perfect. I believe in the same approach, making sure that you go slow and steady, making sure you're doing everything right so you don't get injured, because this is this is not a sprint.
No.
This is a long-term goal here that we have, so this is not something that I don't want to talk bad about CrossFit.
But that's one of the things that makes Portal different, makes my philosophy different, is we're not just looking at physical fitness, we're looking at mental and energetic. And when you look at all 3, it's really, really obvious where so many fitness concepts go wrong. Because if you're not paying attention to mental fitness and well-being, and you're not paying attention to energetic fitness and well-being, it's really easy to get caught up in a scarcity mindset around not enough. And that we're really ultimately motivated by fear, motivated by shame, motivated by guilt, instead of motivated by love. Like for me, I love life. I want to make the most of every single moment of my life. Obviously, if I'm injured, I can't do that. And so I look at the full spectrum, because all of those are important. Like a lot of people will come to Portal because they want to improve their physical fitness. Once we do the assessment, it's clear as day that actually the physical fitness piece is the last thing that we need to focus on. The most important things usually we need to focus on are the mental fitness, the nutritional fitness, the sleep fitness, and the communal fitness. And the communal fitness is kind of the trickiest, because we are not therapists, and a lot of the stuff that falls under the communal fitness stuff, you could easily end up in therapy for the next 20 years, talking about your relationships and talking about old trauma. We don't do that, but what we do are practices like breath work and meditation and specific active recovery techniques. I actually don't think I've told you about what I just got trained in, something called fascial maneuvers, where you're releasing the fascia while you're doing breath work. And there's something really interesting about fascia, that as you release it, it's not just a physical tightness. There's definitely a mental and energetic component. There's some people who believe that our fascia is kind of like our third brain. You've heard obviously our brain is our first brain, but they say our gut is our second brain. Some people say our heart is part of our brain as well. But the fascia is a very misunderstood system in our body. A lot of people just think that fascia is connective tissue. Actually, in the studies that I've done with my partner, who is the founder of Human Garage, this guy, Gary Linehan, that's who I've been training with, he believes that our fascia is more like a hydraulic system, and it's pumping water, which actually is what's controlling our movement, that our muscles are controlling the concentric but it's a very unsophisticated pathway compared to the sophisticated capacity of our fascia to control our movement in all directions at the kind of snap of our fingers. So imagine you step on a piece of glass. It's not like a reflex where you just kind of go in one direction. You actually move in the opposite direction of the glass. And it happens so fast that it actually doesn't make sense that it's our neuromuscular connection that does it. There has to be some other pathway that allows us to have that intelligent response to get off the glass. And so he believes it's actually our fascial system. And so doing fascial maneuvers to release any gunked up areas that we have in our fascia seems to have really deep, profound, holistic improvements across our physical, mental, and energetic health.
Wow. So you really incorporate everything in this. This is not only physical fitness, sleep, nutrition. I mean, a whole complete holistic viewpoint you look at. So that's basically what I believe my clients need, because they look at finance, right? And they only focus on the money, and they don't really put emphasis on their body, on the mental aspect. And this portal, I believe, is a perfect solution to bridge that gap.
Wow. I believe, it's what I've used in my own life to get me here. And so it's really been a passion project to share, the path that has helped me. And, through Hacked, I was able to obviously test it out on thousands of people and see the wide range of people that it does work for. And then over the last 6 months, fine tuning the program to be available virtually without obviously our sophisticated equipment. But what I've found is, in life, obviously toys are great, technology is great, data is great. And humans have known how to be healthy for thousands of years. It's like we've gotten sucked out of our natural environment. We've gotten sucked out of kind of that heart-centered connection to what we're passionate about and our purpose. And so what I believe is that, really, especially over the last 6 months with the pandemic, simplicity is where it's at. So if we can really identify that 80-20 rule, what's the 20% of what we're doing that gets us 80% of the results, and really pay attention holistically to what we value in life. Of course, we value our bodies, we value our minds, of course, we value our money, because that's our source of resource that we can then pay forward and pass and use as currency. But money isn't the only currency, because as we all know, if we don't have our health, if we don't have our wellness, it doesn't matter how much money we have. It doesn't matter how many houses we have. It doesn't matter even our relationships. If we're not healthy, we can't show up for our family. So we have to prioritize our health and wellness and our fitness first, so we can then show up for people and then make use of the money and make use of the relationships and make use of all of the opportunities we have to be creative in our life. But our health and wellness and fitness, and obviously that's physical, that's mental, and then it's our heart, it's our love, it's our passion, it's our purpose.
I completely agree. I need you to sit in my meetings every day with my clients and tell them you did a great job, much better than I do.
Yeah, well, it's I understand. I'm like I said, I'm a 43-year-old mom. I had a pretty typical, circuitous route to here, but I understand, life. I understand that we all have a lot of balls that we're juggling, and we were taught to value money first and foremost because it gives us security. If we have a good job and we have enough money in our bank accounts, then we're kind of set and we don't need to worry, right? And so I understand that foundationally, and I'm not taking anything away from that, because there is real truth and power in that. And I think we all realize if that's the only thing that we kind of have taken care of, and we haven't taken care of our health, we haven't taken care of our mental health, we haven't taken care of our physical health, we haven't taken care of our heart health. And when I say heart health, I'm talking about our ability to love life and love our people and enjoy, wake up and feel inspired and feel like we have purpose. And a lot of people I know, because again, I'm in my 40s. And so there's a lot of people that once they reach kind of my age, they realize that a lot of the things that they thought they valued in life aren't really the important things. Like if we go to our grave and we think that having the nice house and having the nice cars and boats and going on nice vacations, if we think that that's like the sweetest fruit on the tree, that's kind of sad. I mean, I would think that most of your clients have at least tasted the fruits of love, real love, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your spouse, your mate, someone you fall madly in love with, and you, even if it's just like a weekend thing, like, oh my gosh, the feeling of love, the feeling of a challenge and growth and achievement. I mean, I don't know about you, Rob, but I have felt the most pride and the most alive when I've just overcome a challenge, when I thought that I might not make it, and then I like overcome. There's this juiciness. There's all of these juicy fruits that are kind of harder sometimes to attain. So it's like, okay, yeah, I agree, Pam. Those fruits are great. So how do I do that? How do I have more loving relationships? How do I have more, challenges that end up becoming opportunities? And I feel so proud that I overcame them. And how do I get that mindset? How do I get that heart set so I can deepen my relationships and deepen my joy with life and my passion and my purpose in life? And that's really what I found in running Hacked, was what made what we were doing at Hacked so special, besides the fact that we had really cool toys that were really awesome and fun and high tech, but we also could show up for the community and coach the community with those mindset and heart set techniques that, are honestly pure gold.
That's true. So let's just take my hypothetical couple.
Okay.
He's 62 years old. She's
Okay.
58. They come to me and they want to take advantage of this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you give them a specific diet, specific workout in the concierge service, or do you cater to their diet? So let's say my typical, client, she's going to say, "Oh, twice a week I want to have wine," and I already know the things. When I speak to them, they tell me.
I'm not about taking away anyone's joy, right?
Okay.
So I talk a lot about joy and pleasure.
Okay.
And I talk a lot about making small changes.
Okay.
Because we can make small changes that get really big results without feeling like we're depriving ourselves of our joys, right? And so the concierge program really does assess where someone is, and we prioritize their loves. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's like make a love map and prioritize our loves. At the end of the day, you want to start with the lowest hanging fruit and make the smallest changes that are the easiest to make, that then start getting results, that loosen up maybe some attachments we have to other things that we think are our loves. And I'm all about just keeping a micro kind of open mind. Like, you have to stay a little bit open, like, who knows if in 6 months you still want to drink wine, 4 nights a week, fine. But maybe in 6 months you'll be like, you know what? I couldn't ever believe that I was going to say this, but like, I don't even want to drink wine anymore. I used to love wine. And I just don't drink it anymore because it just doesn't bring me the joy, because I've become so much more sensitive in my body and what feels good in my body, what doesn't feel good in my body. And the joy that I get from wine doesn't, for me, make up for whatever sluggishness I might have the next day or however poorly I might sleep. It's just not worth it. And so over time, but who knows, but that's just because something turned out a certain way for me doesn't mean it's going to turn out a certain way for someone else. And so the path is always very personalized. And it's just all about week over week, looking at a strategy, agreeing on a strategy, and then seeing how hard it is to execute the strategy, because that's where the money is. Because we may say that we're ready to make certain changes, and we may agree on a Monday that, okay, I'm not going to eat ice cream or cookies, or I'm not going to eat after 8 o'clock, or whatever first strategy we may want to try. We may like do an assessment. Suppose your sweet 62-year-old and 58-year-old couple came in and they were like, yeah, we tend to do that evening, after we eat dinner, we do end up going back in the kitchen, and yeah, we snack and we have cookies or we have chips or something, maybe like around 9 or 10, and then we go to sleep. And maybe they're like, yeah, I think we could probably try not doing that. And so maybe that's our strategy for the week, where we're going to work on some breathing things. We're going to work on some, mindset things. But from a food perspective and a behavioral perspective, we all agree that they're not going to do that anymore. And then we get to see whether or not they're able to make that change. Because the thing about behavioral change is that there's how ready we think we are for the behavioral change, and then how ready we really are. And there's no shame or guilt. And that's one of the big misses that happens in a lot of these coaching programs. There's so much shame, there's so much guilt, and there's so much disappointment when we don't succeed, and we feel like a failure, or we feel like we're not good enough. And it's never the case. It's just a case of too much too soon. So if we make a plan and that plan didn't work, we realize that was too much too soon, and we have to do something else to get underneath that behavior first. And it's totally fine, because it's always a game of show, not tell. It's not about what we say we're going to do. It's what we actually are able to show up and demonstrate and do. And you'll see over time what's really going on, because pretty much everybody has some subconscious old trauma that we don't know about, that's keeping us stuck in some of these behaviors. And it's not that we don't have willpower. It's not that we're lazy. It's not that we're bad people. It's just that there's some stuff going on internally. And then that behavior is a coping mechanism. Okay, no problem. We're going to smile. We're going to soften. We're not going to make a problem of any of that. And we're going to keep going deeper and figuring out what the little tweaks are to help us loosen up and make those behavior changes so we get different results.
Sounds amazing. We use a very similar approach. Our clients will understand that we do a very personalized approach, and we do it like a financial map. So it sounds like you do something very similar, like a health map, and you have it very personalized, which I think is great.
Yeah.
It allows people to really reflect on what's important for them.
Yeah.
And I love that personalized approach. That's great.
The values, it's all about values.
Right.
It's kind of like being a parent. I was actually just talking to my husband about this, because I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. And my 12-year-old, it's like we're working on some behavior changes. And I was like, we have to figure out how to frame everything through his values. Like, what's important to him, and how can we tie this behavioral change to what he authentically cares about as a 12-year-old boy, right? And that's how you frame it. And it just kind of greases the wheel, because when we have clarity around where we want to go and why we want to get there, that helps us through those uncomfortable moments, remembering our why and connecting all of our strategies and our choices with that why, as Simon Sinek says. I'm sure you know Simon Sinek and his work, starting with the why. But that in all areas of our life, if we remember the values and the deeper the why, the more power it's going to give us to keep us doing the thing that we said we were going to do, even when we don't want to do it, because we remember our why, and it's tied to an internal value.
Okay. Let me ask you, what do you think separates Portal from anything that's out there now, like any comparable service?
Yeah, I mean, it's really unique, because, to be honest, I'm really unique in my path with the holistic physical fitness, mental fitness, and then energetic fitness is really unique. And so I am a physical powerhouse. So I've been a physical fitness trainer for years and years. From a mental fitness standpoint, I mean, I'm Ivy League, educated, academic, intellectual, and all of that. But I've also gone through years of behavioral therapy and behavioral training. And so learning how to put the behavioral training and the mental together with the physical is key. And then on that energetic side, when I talk about that heart health and really figuring out passion and purpose and that deeper sense of being human, there's just not that many leaders in the fitness and wellness space that can put all of those three things together and then kind of nimbly bounce around between them. Most of the offerings out there are very siloed. And there's some good programs now that are stronger in the behavioral health standpoint, for sure, that are able to support behavioral change with the mindset and more of the kind of spiritual and energetic practices around, positive affirmations and love and forgiveness and understanding and those more spiritual principles. But there really isn't anything out there that combines the physical fitness with the mental fitness and that energetic fitness in this minimum effective dose way. And so our program is based on a 30 minutes a day approach. And that includes the physical workouts, includes the mental, emotional, energetic practices where we do reflections, we do journaling, meditation, breath work, and we're giving you real behavioral therapy practices. So the practical coaching tools to be your own hero, be your own coach. We're empowering our people to be their own hero. And so there's really nothing out there that hits those three trifectas in the way that we're doing.
That's pretty amazing. 30 minutes a day, which is great, which will really resonate with my crowd, by the way.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be hard. Like I said, going for a walk, even once I show you these fascial maneuvers, I had my husband doing them this morning. It took 13 minutes. You're literally getting a full body workout while you're doing it because you're doing kind of twists, and then it's an active dynamic kind of holding, and you're breathing at the same time. So you're combining breath work, stretching, and workouts and balance at the same time. And so it's incredibly efficient. And literally, as I do more, as I've gone through the training, it's been about a month and a half that I've been using this program. As I do it more and more, and I'm getting better at it, because like anything, until you get better at something, you're not going to get the full result. It takes practice. As I'm getting better at it, I can already feel I'm not going to need to work out nearly as much, and I already was not working out very much at all, because as I'm getting better at doing this fascial maneuvers, you're literally getting the strength and resistance training at the same time as you're getting the stretching, you're getting the breath work, and you're getting the balance. So the only thing you're not getting in that one practice is the agility of the movement. But going for walks, I mean, I'm silly. I'm like a kid. I'll skip down the street, like a 5-year-old and a 43-year-old body. But I'm all about kind of finding the most efficient path that is accessible and attainable for people, because we're all busy. We do not want to spend hours, heaven forbid, a week, much less an hour a day working out. It's not necessary to
Yeah,
get the health benefits. It's just not.
I completely agree. And the proof's in the pudding. I mean, look what you've
Hmm.
been accomplished. I'm something you mentioned something which I really want my audience to understand, because they hear certain people, nothing against them, certain trainers, and they're not really in terms of education or whatever. You went to Yale, you
Mhm.
participated in an IPO, you're very smart, you're very accomplished, and you took this direction in your life to help out people in this arena. And sometimes, that never happens because
Well,
people like you normally will be that A personality and chase the money. So you're actually having very noble uh, profession here.
well, first I have to say I ended up on this path to fix myself, like to help myself, because when I was, I guess, 31 or 32, I had my second child and I had completely lost myself. And I think it's so common for moms when you have a toddler, you have a newborn, and you're just like, what just happened to my life? And I gained weight and then I got into really good fitness shape. But that didn't solve my marriage. That didn't solve my relationship with myself. It didn't solve the bigger problems. And so then I was like, well, what's next? And so then I ended up going into yoga and meditation. And then I learned a lot of the behavioral therapy stuff that I had learned when I was younger too. Because my personal history is definitely, yeah, I went to Yale. I grew up on a farm. I went to Yale. I was obviously very smart and was able to get into Yale, but I wasn't a typical Yale student by any stretch. I mean, I'd grown up on a farm. I hadn't traveled. I wasn't worldly. And so when I graduated Yale and I ended up in the New York City, like you said, I was the point person on an IPO at the age of 24. I didn't have the sophisticated support structure that a lot of my Yale friends had, like from a family that was very, sophisticated. And so I ultimately ended up on this path to heal myself in the most efficient way, because I'm a busy mom and I had ways I did want to be helping the world. And, I wrote a book and I want to be doing things. I don't want to be only a mom, a full-time mom, a housewife. And if someone wants to do that, that's totally great. I just knew that that was not going to be my only role in life. And so I was definitely seeking something. From the time that I became a mom, I was seeking something. And so it was my own seeking that found this path. And once I found it, and I would look around and witness how other parents were talking to their kids, how other parents were handling, oh, that this horrible thing just happened, or that unexpected thing just happened. And then they'd get triggered and then they would bark at their kids, or they would yell at, someone at the school, or, it was just like you could see that there were physical fitness issues, there were mental fitness issues, and then there are these heart fitness or spiritual or energetic fitness issues where we're not able to handle what life throws at us with grace and ease and peace and compassion and bravery and wisdom and discernment. And so it's only through my own practice at getting better at this and then saying, you know what, I need to share this, because I look around and the world is in pretty rocky shape at the moment. And I know the tools that I have will help people show up for themselves and then show up for their families, show up for their communities. And ultimately, that's how we're going to make the world a better place.
And that's why I align myself with people like you who
Thank you.
can do that, which is an amazing goal. So how do people find out, give them some information so how they can contact you and take advantage of this incredible service?
Sure. So Portal, PRTL, no vowels. We're very efficient, just like Hacked was. So if you go to portal.com, you can find us there. And if someone says that they're a friend of yours or a client of yours, Rob, I'm happy to give people, a 15% discount on that initial service and a package if they want to move forward in a concierge package. And the app that we have has a free trial, so someone can sign up and experience the app, for free for a week and get a sense of what my voice is like. I mean, I guess if you're still listening to this, you've had 50 minutes or so of hearing my voice, so you kind of have a sense at this point. But yeah, so the app, you can get a free trial on the app and find us on the website.
That's great. Listen, Pam, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Your goal of changing the world through this app is amazing, and I would love
whatever little bit.
Exactly, whatever.
I have one person's nicer. I always say I want people to go out and spread kindness and spread inspiration. You don't want to go out and spread asshole. If you go out and you bump into someone on the street, if you're in a high vibe state, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, or oh, can I help you? And as opposed to if you go out and like you're in a low vibe state and you bump into someone or someone bumps into you, you're like, oh, and you spread asshole, because then that person you just bumped into was like, oh no, and then they're like, oh, they're mad at me, or you can see how contagious our energy is. And I take that to heart. And so even if one person is just 10% happier and 10% kinder and 10% more capable of handling a physical challenge or a mental challenge or an emotional or energetic challenge, I'll be happy.
I appreciate it. Pam, thank you so much. And please get in contact with her. She can help you out.
Thanks again, Rob. Thanks everybody for listening. Talk soon.
Thank you for listening. If you loved the episode, please go to iTunes, rate and subscribe. And don't forget to join us next week for a brand new episode. Thank you.